Okay, so this was requested by someone and then someone else, so I was like, it's a sign, and I like this song. I went off of this one live version. I'll put a link down there, which is a little different than the record maybe in some ways. We're in open D, which is from bottom to top, from lowest to highest. That's a D. A gets to stay as A. D gets to stay as D. G goes down to F sharp. B goes down to A. High E goes down to D. So you have a nice open D chord. The finger picking, what I see her doing is using 3 fingers, thumb, index, and middle. The thumb is always playing on the beats. And then the index and middle are often playing together in between. And sometimes they separate out and it becomes like this. So sometimes it becomes thumb, index, middle, index, middle. And sometimes it's like thumb, index, and middle, thumb, index, and middle. So you can play around with it. I had a hard time playing with my index and middle together all the time. That's not a style I use a lot. The style I do use a lot is just thumb and index. So I ended up playing it like that. So, and again, sometimes it's in a traditional kind of like finger picking pattern of alternating the thumb and the index. And sometimes it's more like thumb and then a strum from the index. So again, as usual with finger picking, I would say like try to find your own, something that works for you. So the very first chord is just a D, which is all the open strings. It kind of starts, in the very beginning, she starts by being like, that's like the D string and the B string, which is now the A string. Kind of starts, kind of eases into it. So you could start that way. And then get into that alternating kind of pattern where it's like, it's basically like thumb, index, with the first of those indexes being more like on, you know, the B and the G, and the second being more on like the E and the B. So like thumb, B and G, thumb, E and B. And that can sometimes become picked or more strummed. The thumb is pretty strummy actually. Like, I mean, it's picking, but it's like, it can be more like that, I think. In other words, it's not, or it's more like, that kind of thing. So you start with 4 bars of D, and then you're into this chord. This is like a B minor, so I'm using my second finger on the second fret of the A, and then not the low string, but the rest of the strings. So again, sometimes it can be this kind of traditional finger picking pattern. This is like A, G, D, B, A, G, D, B, thumb, index, or it could be thumb, index, thumb, middle, 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2. So what I hear is it kind of blends from that into this. It's like, sort of, it becomes, kind of seamlessly goes from being more of a picked part to being more of a strummed part with the index. So the index starts sort of strumming, again, alternating, strumming like the B and the G and strumming the E and the B. And then right now I have my thumb going between the A and the D, so it's like A, That's the pattern. Or it could just stay on the A. I think it does that a lot. Okay, so 4 bars on the D. It's gonna alternate between this B minor and this D. And this part comes back. This is the same chord progression as like the bridge, which also becomes like the outro. It's just, this is a good one to practice. So four bars on the B minor, 4 bars on the D. One little variation that happens is sometimes on the D, you get the 2nd fret on the high E string on the 1st string. So it'll be like, and I think the rhythm of that is, it's funny, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like you put the 2nd finger down on the 2nd fret after beat 4 of one of the measures, and you hold it down until after beat 1 of the whole other measure. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's not exact, it's fine. So it's like, so the way that sounds in the context of the whole 4 bars of the D is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're doing that, now your higher part of your pattern, like your index or your index and middle, stays on the E string on the 1st string for all the time in order to have that note come out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that, okay? Again, if it's not exact, it's fine. It's just the idea there. So the verse starts with 4 bars on the D. Same old picking pattern. Thumb alternating with the index or the index and middle. Same thing, we have options of making it more picky or more sort of strummy. That sounds more right to me. And notice that alternating pattern of 2, 1, B, E, B, E, thumb, B, thumb, E, thumb, B, thumb, E. So 4 bars. 2. Now this chord, which is a G, so it's, I'm playing it like this. 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the low E string of the 6th string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A, the 5th string, and pinky on the 5th fret of the G, the 3rd string. There's other ways you can play this chord, like this 3rd finger could be on the D string 5th fret, or you could actually have just these 2 notes, just the 5th fret on the low E and the 5th fret on the G. It kind of depends on how your muting is, and you know, because the important notes are like, I like to play it like this, and then keep that picking going. You can mess around with it. It could be, some kind of alternation happening in the higher strings, but it doesn't have to be do, 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 but it can be. That's for 2 bars. Now it goes to this, which is like a B minor. 1st finger on the 8th fret of the G, the 3rd string. 2nd finger on the 9th fret of the E, the 6th string. And 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the A. This is for 2 bars. And it goes back to this G, and then it goes up 2 frets to an A with the same shape. So now it's just 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the 6th string, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string, pinky on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. On fire. Sometimes when it's on the B minor, it passes through this chord on the way to G on the last 2 beats of the 2 bars that it's on the B minor. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You know, had a bad design. doesn't do that every time, and it's totally optional. I think I did it there's a total of 3 verses, and I did it the second and third, which is I think what she does. The first verse, and so then it goes to D. It's on the D for 4 bars, and you could do that trick again on the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. The first verse is a double verse. It repeats the verse. And then the next one is just a single verse. So after the double verse, it goes back to what essentially the intro was, where it's 4 bars on this B minor, so the second fret on the A string for 4 bars, 4, and then 4 bars on the D. You can do this. You don't have to do it every time. Back to the B minor. So after that section, it goes into like the bridge. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy, and dull part, which goes to this G chord again, the 5th fret one, second finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string, third finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, and pinky on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. That's for 2 bars. And then backed up to that B minor, first finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string, second finger on the 9th fret of the 6th string, third finger on the 9th fret of the 5th string. And it's on that for 4 bars. 4, 2. And I wake up with my sheets soaking wet. So then there's one more verse. This verse now is gonna loop that. So it's like, oh, I'm on fire. That's the G, A to D, 5, 7, open. Do it again. Do it one more time. So it's 3 times total. Oh, I'm on fire. Which takes you right back to the intro/bridge. Same exact thing, 4 bars on the B minor, 4 bars on the D, and on the D you can mess around with the 2nd fret on the high string. This time it's like 5 or 6 times of going back and forth between B minor and D. Etc. When it's finally over, she does a little thing to end it, where it slows down when you're on this B minor. Move the 2nd finger from the 2nd fret on the A, 2nd fret of the 5th string, to the 4th fret, and then end with the 5th fret on the A, and everything open. So it's like you're going between this. And then pretend this is the last time. I hope that all makes sense, and there's a chart available at my Patreon. The link is in the description, and let me know any questions, comments, or requests, and thank you so much for watching.